Soft Life Secrets with Miracle opens the door to raw, untold stories. Truths that shape us, break us, and rebuild us. Today we dive into the journey of someone who defied expectations, walked away from the life everyone assumed he'd pursue, and found freedom beyond the game. From getting paid in college football to an injury that changed everything, he refused to become a slave to the sport. Instead, he rewrote his future, becoming an author, a speaker, and a mentor. This is a story of reinvention, resilience, and reclaiming identity beyond the jersey. Stay locked in because this one hits deep. Welcome to Jerry Smith.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Yes, ma'am.
Your story was interesting when I heard about, what transpired and how you end up leaving the whole career football. So looking back, what was your mindset when you were playing football in college? Did you see it as a long-term career, or was there always an underlying doubt?
Me personally, I always seen it as a long-term career. It was always a dream of mine. I was playing football since I was 5 years old. For so long, that was all I knew. I had my brother. He was a highly recruited player coming out of high school, going into college. He went to University of Georgia. So, I always had a lot of motivation. And I never thought for 1 minute that I wasn't going to make it. I had no doubt in my mind. And, it played out how it played out, but once I had got towards the end of my career, I wouldn't say it was doubt. It was more of just me wanting to protect myself. I understood. When you're playing, you know the things that can happen, but you don't really think about them until it happens to you. Right. So if you don't mind me explaining, so we had a game against Marshall, and I was going on a blitz, and I kind of got hit in my chest, and my body snapped, my head snapped back, and my body went numb. And for me, when it was happening in slow motion. I'm like, man, this is crazy. I never felt this before in my life. It was the first time I had a concussion. And you never think something will happen to you until it happens to you. And that was that time it happened to me. So I'm like, now I got the awareness of the things that can actually happen. And in my life, I value health the most. Wow. So I felt that it wasn't worth risking my health anymore.
Okay, so you say you come from a family of athletes that are professional athletes.
Yes, sir. Well, yes, ma'am.
It's okay.
Yes, ma'am. But my brother, he plays for the Raiders.
Okay.
And he's the only one in our family that is actually a professional. I aspire to be behind him, but yeah.
Can you describe the moment when you realized football was no longer the path for you? Was it a slow realization, or did your injury make the decision clear for you?
It was a slow realization because, like I said, that was what I dreamed of doing. This year, I plan on being on the NFL football team. You know what I'm saying? So
this would have been the year.
This would have definitely been a year. It was hard to take in, but my injury did open my eyes. As far as my health, like I said, what I value the most, that was an easy decision. That was a real easy decision for me. And I always thought, man, I couldn't forgive myself if I went back out there and I couldn't walk. I wouldn't want my parents or my girl or my daughter to have to see that. Right. I just couldn't forgive myself. So, it was an easy decision, but one of the hardest things for me was, letting my teammates down. I felt like I was letting them down. I was the captain of the team. My brother wanted me to be there with him. My 3 best friends, all in the NFL. So, they're not my 3 best friends, but they 3 of my closest friends. So, they all in the NFL. I'm like, I want to be where they're at. So, it was hard to tell them. But for me, in my life, I think it was one of the best decisions I ever made. And it opened up other opportunities that I was so closed off to my whole life. Okay,
so having your daughter was really the determining factor.
Ooh. So I found out after. So when it happened to me, I was going through all this, and then a little down the line, I found out I was having a daughter, and I'm like, wow. So it makes sense why if she was here, I probably would have said no, I'm done. But when I found out, I'm like, man, I'm glad that I did decide to stop because, like I said, I wouldn't want my daughter to have to deal with her dad in a wheelchair because I know it can get there. I know it can get there.
Wow. Okay, many athletes struggle with identity after leaving the sport. How did you navigate that transition emotionally and mentally?
Well, my best experience or my way of finding myself came my freshman year of college. So, I'm a young kid. Football is all I know. I'm about to reach the pinnacle of what I want. I wanted to be a freshman All-American. I got a chance to play. We playing Texas Tech. It was a big game. I had a lot of big hits. I was turned. I was having a good time, and I unfortunately tore my ACL. So I got football taken away from me real early in my college career, and I had to find myself. Like it was hard not to get depressed, but I had great people around me, and it forced me to figure out who I was outside of football. So I kind of started building an identity then, and over the years, I always had that a part of me away from football because I had it taken away from me. See, it's different. A lot of people don't get it taken away from them, so they don't get that experience. But football was taken away from me, so I had no choice. So now when it came to when I officially stopped playing, like I retired, I'm like, okay, I still know who I am. I still know all the good qualities I have. I still know I can do a lot of other things in this world. So it wasn't hard for me to know who I was. Now, I'm not going to say I had it figured out. I didn't have it figured out at all, but I had the determination, like, you know what, I'm going to keep doing it. I know I can do something in this world. I know being an athlete is not all that I can provide for this earth. So, yeah.
Okay. Now, as a college athlete, you got hurt your freshman year is what you said.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you play after that?
Oh, yes. So my season ended in 2020 after that. So I was done. And I played actually 4 more years of college. So, I recovered pretty well.
You recovered from the ACL?
Yeah, I recovered.
Okay, so that was a good recovery. So
Yes,
that was like, oh, I'm back.
I learned a lot too. Yes, ma'am.
Ever. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And so it was the second injury that told you, okay, this is it.
It was a different experience.
Okay, out-of-body experience.
Yes, ma'am. And I tie it to the same way I thought about my ACL. Like, before I tore my ACL, I never thought it could happen. It finally happened, and I'm like, wow. So now I'm more cautious about it. And that's why when this came around, when my body went numb, I'm thinking about all the things, and I'm so aware of all the things that can happen. Now that if I go out there, I put myself at a higher risk, and I just, I wasn't going to deal with that.
Okay, did you ever have the idea of becoming a slave to the sport? Did you ever feel like you was a slave to the sport?
I feel like in the sense of compensation for what we did, yes. Like I feel like we brought so much revenue to the school that we didn't get to see, and it was a lot of months where I didn't have money in college. I'm not gonna lie. Like living off that scholarship is not easy. We kids, we don't have no financial literacy.
Right.
So I just feel like we were robbed from a lot of things, and not all coaches, but a lot of coaches don't really care about you.
Right.
Like you can tell it's a business thing to it. Like football is business, and that's how I had to be. Like you can say it's a slave mentality, but like it's a business transaction. Like I'm doing this for you. Like that's kind of how I started handling football.
Right.
Before I was so emotional. I was so emotional to what somebody would do or like how could he feel this way about me. But then once I started seeing it as a business, it kind of changed my mindset because I'm choosing to do this. So I can't really say I felt like a slave to it, but some of the aspects of it I feel like we were getting cheated out of for sure.
Okay, did you get paid while you were in college?
Yes.
Now this was when it was legal.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so was the NIL out then?
Yeah, it
or
was
it had
NIL.
Just beginning. Okay, so it was NIL.
So NIL started around 2021, I believe.
Okay.
And that's when it was just real small. Like, I don't think everybody really had access to it. It was more like the bigger schools. But like as the years went on, NIL started picking up. You got booster clubs. So this is people that would get together and fund their money to pay players or do certain types of things. But that's just it was legal.
Okay, it was legal
that's
then.
how it was working. And now recently they just passed this settlement for $2.6 billion to pay players that they didn't pay from 2016 to like 2025.
Wait, 2016?
Yes, ma'am, 2016.
So they can go back and back pay those players who made the universities and the schools money.
Yes, ma'am.
And female athletes.
Female athletes too.
Oh my gosh.
What they deserve. So, I think it's big, and now they get to pay college athletes as well. They get to sign contracts. But I feel like a big thing with that is they have to teach them some type of financial literacy. Like, I had to learn that myself. I made a lot of terrible financial decisions growing up because I just didn't know, and I had to learn. And I wasn't actively trying to.
Okay.
And I feel like they need to put something in place to give the players some type of financial literacy. Like if you're running into 100,000 and yesterday you just had 10 in your bank account, you don't know what to do with that.
Right.
So I
You're
think
right.
they need to implement that for sure.
Okay. Tell me this. So when you were getting paid, were you getting paid by the Booster Club members or were you under a contract?
It was like,
getting a check?
it was a contract under our collective. So we had
Oh.
like Eagle Nation Collective, that's what they called it. Each school has their own little collective, and you sign the contract with the collective.
Gotcha.
So it was different. It was separate from the school.
Okay.
But they were working with the school basically. Like if they wanted to get a player in, they might talk to the collective like, how much money can we give them? Like that's kind of how it was working. That's how it was working.
Dang.
And it got crazy. Like you would see players hop in the portal. It's a school over here offering him $250,000. How can he not take that? And he at a school, they only say, oh, we gonna give you 50. He's gonna leave. That's what's been going on a lot.
That's what's going on.
Yeah, it's been crazy.
Dang, I wish they was giving money when I went to college.
I said the same thing.
I would have been, negotiating like crap. Oh my gosh. How did you find purpose beyond football? And I think we kind of touched on that. Was there a particular book, mentor, or experience that helped shape your new direction?
I always talked about or bragged about not reading books. I used to always be like, I ain't read a book since 9th grade. I used to brag about it as a kid. I didn't really know how ignorant that sounded. But my best friend, his name's Jalen Grice, he introduced me to reading. Like, he told me, like, TJ, you need to do this. Like, it'll improve your quality of life, your thinking. The more words you have, the better. So my best friend taught me that. So, I got into books like The Power of Now, Think and Grow Rich. And then I had a multitude of mentors. My dad, my parents, amazing.
Right.
Parents, shout out to my mom, my dad, Christian Sandra Smith, by the way. But my parents, they're amazing, So they were able to kind of help me drive. But I feel like two of my key drivers was my best friend. My best friend played football with me our whole life. Like, we were best friends since middle school.
Shout out best friend.
Yeah, shout out my best friend, Jalen Grice. But, we were both playing football, and he stopped earlier than me. So he got a chance to see life from a different perspective that I didn't get to see. And that's why I always tell him, like, I appreciate you, because I was so blinded and in my path that I didn't get to see all the other opportunities that life had to give. And he kind of had a head start. So now when I stepped outside of football, he was like, man, I've been waiting on you. Like, now we can do life together. Like, me and my best friend, yeah, we got this mastermind that's incredible. And I know we can do a lot of great things. And we building to this day right now. My best friend.
Oh,
and
my gosh.
My last driving force is definitely my daughter. Like, family is everything to me, and family gives you purpose. Like, without family, I wouldn't be fulfilled. I grew up with family. That's all I know. Like, half the time, I don't even want nothing. I want to get stuff from my family. So, that's my purpose right now, making sure my girl, my daughter, even my mom and my dad, when I get to a position to take care of them, I'm going to take care of them.
Wow. Oh, my gosh. Okay, what was the hardest part of reinventing yourself as an author, speaker, and a mentor? Were there moments of doubt or unexpected hurdles when you decided to become an author?
An unexpected hurdle, when I decided to become an author, first of all, I had no idea. I always told myself, like, I'm not going to write a book till I'm 30 because I feel like I don't have enough knowledge. But then I sat down and thought, like, you know what? I do have a lot. And if I can, I wrote a book called Constructing Essence. The Blueprint to Fulfill Greatness and Limitless Success. Yeah, she has it right here. It's a self-development, human development book. But, it was all the knowledge that I accumulated from my years to 23. And I'm like, if I can write this and help some kids out or help somebody in this world, that's amazing. So it wasn't really hard. I just kind of used all the qualities and the things that I learned, like I said. Or I didn't say this before, but football is the game of life. Football teaches you so many things: discipline, being on time, persistence, learning how to deal with other people. You know what I'm saying? How to deal with adversity, a lot of situations. So football taught me a lot, and I'm like, okay, if I can take all these things and transfer this into my life, I'll be great. Okay, so football taught you structure. Yes, ma'am. And how to work well with others. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Yes, ma'am. That's interesting, and I agree. I believe that people who have played organized sports do tend to work well with others. Yes, ma'am, because you have no choice. When you go to college, it's people from all over the country. You're right. I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia. I went to college in Kansas State. That was a crazy culture shock for me, but I was I'm grateful for that I was able to get that experience and open up and meet new people and connect with new people. Like I wouldn't have got that if I didn't play football. So
what high school did you graduate from?
McEachern High School, and I went to Hateville Charter my first 3 years.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
McEachern. Okay. All righty. All right. Do you think enough is being done to support injured athletes and help them find new chapters or career paths?
There are some people out here that care about what we do at the football. And it's usually a lot of the former players that have played, that have been in our shoes, that know, like, you know, one day this is going to end. We hear that all the time. Like, you know, it's going to end, but everybody brushes it off. But when you in it, you kind of have to be that delusional, like, you know, this is going to work. I feel like there has to be some type of delusion behind it, but at the end of the day, a lot of people do have to be realistic. It's a numbers game.
Right.
It's millions of people going for a 1% spot. It's definitely a numbers game, and you have to think about, okay, even through the numbers game, if you do make it, football only lasts for so long.
Right.
So a lot of people don't even really play past 30. So you got, 40, 50 more years of your life left.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't think about that. So there are people that help. I just think athletes need to take advantage.
Right.
Like, don't break those meetings that they have with us, when they tell us, okay, we finna sit down and talk about life after football, sit down and be invested in that, because it could be tomorrow.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Even if it's 10 years down the line, you still gonna have a whole life and you don't wanna be lost. And as far as injuries, you know, I done seen a lot with that, but like I said, you know, it's a business. So they want to make sure players are just ready to play. Sometimes they don't really care about what kind of condition you're in. If they can get you on that field to go produce, that's what's going to happen. And then that's not everybody. So some people do look out, but a lot of the times that's what's going on.
Okay. How has your personal experience influenced the way you mentor others? And the reason I'm asking this question is because you said at first you knew it was life after football. So you had a plan B.
Well, no.
Okay.
I did not.
All right.
I did not
That's
have a
where I
plan
want to
B.
get. A lot of people don't have plan Bs. How important is it? Tell the audience, how important is it to have a plan B? And I think this is in life, with life in general, for every direction, whether it's athletic or anything. You just need a plan B.
And sitting here thinking about it, I wouldn't even like to call it a plan B, but just find another passion for life. It's a lot of things out here. And a lot of people are so closed off. Like, if you find, like, say you might try trying to do production one day, you might love it. You can still play football doing that, but just find other passions, because like football only lasts so long.
Right.
Only lasts so long. So, you know, a plan B is ultra important. I feel like if you don't have a plan B, you know, you kind of, when you get to this point to where plan A doesn't work, because life doesn't go exactly as planned always. We know that.
Right.
So sometimes things will arise. So when things arise, you just want to be prepared. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. If you could send a message to your younger self, the version of you who was fully immersed in football, what would you say?
Take full accountability for your actions. You know, as a young kid, you could feel like everything is everybody else's fault, especially when you've been being taken care of your whole life. But, you know, early on, I didn't take full accountability for a lot of my actions. And I would say, like I just said, I didn't have a plan B. So I wouldn't have been so closed off. I would have found other passions in life, because it's so much more to life.
Wow. Okay, so what's next for you?
What's next? Well, you know, I'm just building right now. I'm starting to get into entrepreneurship. You know, I desire to be free. That's one of my biggest desires on this earth. I want to be free. I want to be able to wake up when I want to wake up. And it's not working, but I just want to be on my own terms. So, you know, I'm getting into business. I definitely, you know, want to get into speaking to younger kids, to football teams, just to mentor them, you know, spread my knowledge to them, get them some gems that they might have didn't have. Because in that book, that's why I wrote that book too, because that's like the blueprint I live my life by. And I feel like, you know, if I can give this to somebody else or help somebody else build their own blueprint, that'll kind of help you build your own blueprint as well.
Okay.
If I can help somebody do that, you know, that's what I'm here for. Ultimately, I'm here to serve.
Okay.
Ultimately, I'm here to serve. Past being free, I'm here to serve people. I'm here to spread love, good, positive energy, and just help people grow, because that's what I want to see. I see a lot of people's minds chained up, and I want to help people release those locks on their mind.
Okay, tell the audience in a brief description on what this book is about. Constructing Essence. Of course, you said it's the blueprint. And I'm going to read it because I think I, too, myself can get some good gems out of this.
Yes, ma'am.
But give us a brief synopsis on why did you write this book?
So I started out with, like, just being your own, being you, being who you truly are, figuring out how you want to see how you want your life to be, the things you want to do, the things you want to be, the things you want to have. You know what I'm saying? Sitting down and not conforming to society, not caring about validation from others, because I feel like that's step number one. A lot of people don't do a lot of things because they care about what everybody else is going to say or how this person may feel about it or how this person may feel about it. So I'm teaching to, like, you know, step out of that, get in solitude, sit down, get a pencil out, and map out your life, basically. And then chapter 2, I touched on confidence. Confidence is number one. You know, without confidence, in the beginning, nobody's gonna believe in you. You gotta have that confidence in yourself. You know, and people doubting themselves and having that fear and self-sabotaging language stops them. So confidence is number one. And I have a formula for bulletproof confidence in there, and it's automatic. It's definitely automatic. And then chapter 3, I talked about focus, work, and discipline. So whatever you're focusing on is what you're gonna work towards. So you need to shift your focus on whatever you're trying to do, figure out, okay, how can I get better here? What can I do here? And put in the work consistently. Focus, work, and then discipline. Be disciplined through that. So on the tough days when you're not motivated, have that discipline to keep getting up, keep working, and keep your focus. And you can do anything on this planet. And then lastly, chapter 4, I touched on adversity. There's 3 different types of adversity, in my opinion, that I have experienced. Physical adversity, situational adversity, and then we have outcome adversity. So physical adversity is basically like when something happens to your body. I tore my ACL, for example. Situational adversity, you might be in college, you might not be starting. The coach, you might feel like the coach is, you know, holding you back. So that's kind of situational adversity. I talked about how to deal with that. And then outcome adversity. So I'm relating this all to football because, you know, this is what I do. But say you taking a test, like if you pass or fail, that's kind of outcome adversity. So if somebody fails, how do you get through outcome adversity? Well, first of all, you figure out what you did wrong, how you can get better, and just keep getting better. That's how that works. Keep trying. Like if you fail, learn from what happened, and then use that to keep going forward. And that's basically what I talked about in there. And my last chapter, it's a bonus chapter, I talked about freeing yourself, basically. It was a story, you know, I just started a job, and I just have this burning desire to free myself. Like, I don't want to be on nobody else's time. I don't want to be dependent on, okay, is my paycheck gonna come this Friday? I want to have something built and some system put into place. Like, you know what? I got this going for myself. If my job was to start tomorrow, you know, I could keep going. So that's like synopsis of the book in a quick summary, but I think it's amazing.
I like the fact that it's an easy read, y'all. It's 4 chapters. 4 chapters. Get this book. Can you tell them, TJ, look in the camera and tell them how they can get the book?
You can purchase the book at constructingessencebook.com, and you can also reach me on all platforms at Tajiri Smith, and my YouTube is Tajiri Smith TV.
Okay, there you have it, guys. Okay, that was powerful. From highs of college football to the tough decision to leave it all behind. Today's conversation showed us what it means to evolve, to step into purpose when the game is no longer defining you. If you're listening to this and you're at the crossroads, remember your story isn't over. Reinvention is possible. Growth is inevitable, and finding freedom, that's the real victory. Follow Soft Life Secrets with Miracle for more conversation that challenge, inspire, and break the mold. Until next time, keep writing your own story.